Emotional resonance clearing is a modality that was developed by Leah Steele and Michelle Patrick. And this modality is based on the 5-element theory. So before I go on to talk to you about how the modality unfolds, how it works, let me just give you a little bit of a summary, a really quick summary of what the 5-element theory is. So according to this theory, there are 5 elements. So the planet is made of the 5 elements, and we are all made of the 5 elements. So the 5 elements include fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. So each element represents an aspect of our growth and is associated with usually 2 organs, except for the fire that has 4 organs, but is associated with 2 organs and 1 or 2 primary emotions and 5 questions, which we call 5 primary questions. So the 2 organs that are associated with each element, their biological function is very closely related to their energetic function, or their energetic spiritual function, because it's all linked, isn't it? And so, for example, we're going to take the metal as an example. So the metal is to do with the ability to receive from the heavens, so to take in the preciousness of the moment in order to receive from the heavens, and then just let go of what no longer serves us. And if you think about it, then the metal element is associated with the lungs and the large intestine. And the lungs is all about breathing, so it's about taking in the air and then just letting go of the what we don't need. So we're taking in the oxygen to nourish us, and then we're letting go of what we don't need, which is the carbon dioxide. And when we're breathing in the present. We can't breathe in the past or in the future. So it's all to do about receiving the preciousness from the preciousness of the moment, and then letting go of what no longer serves us. And it's the same thing with the large intestine. The biological function of the large intestine is just to release what we don't need, but it's the same thing with their energetic function. And so so as you see, each of those elements will have 2 organs with biological and energetic functions, and then a primary emotions. And so the primary emotion in metal is grief. And so this is the main emotion, but then under grief, you're going to have a lot of, let's say, sub-emotions. They're not really sub-emotions, but they're emotions that are related to grief. And so all of this creates a pattern, creates a whole system of emotional reactions and experiences. So within each of those elements, there is a superpower. So for example, for metal, this is the ability to take in the preciousness from the preciousness of the moment, and then letting go of what you don't need. However, when we're out of balance, this superpower is there when we're in balance, but when we are out of balance, we're not able to do that, or if we do it inappropriately. And so if you think about it, the way we live our lives, the society we're in, we're just so imbalanced because, we work too much, we're too stimulated by noise and screen time and so much information. We don't eat the right foods for us. We're stressed and so all of that. And then another thing is that we don't really know how to process emotions. We don't really know how to express, process, release emotions, and so they become stagnated. So all of this, our lifestyle and the way we've been programmed not to really, to ignore our emotional organization, just creates all those imbalances that stay within us, and it's a bit of a vicious cycle because those imbalances will affect our organs, and because the organs are affected, they're depleted, they're not functioning properly, then they also affect our emotional organization. And so emotional resonance clearing is using the 5-element theory to help us release stagnant emotions. And this could be something that you're going through right now. It could be a lifelong pattern. It could be even a physical ailment, because it's all linked. It's all linked. And when something is stagnated, it's going to have an effect, an impact on our physical, physical health, mental health, emotional health, energetic health, the whole thing. So how does it work? Basically, there are several modalities within this modality, but I'm just going to talk about a very small elemental clear. Well, not a very small, I'm just going to talk about the first one, which is the most basic one, or the quickest one, which is elemental clears. So basically you can come to me with a particular issue that you're going through, something that you're going through. Could be anything. As I said, it could be a physical ailment, it could be a lifelong pattern, it could be something that you're going through right now, as if you're feeling stressed, or there's a blockage that you can feel that you have, then you can come to me. And what we do, basically, I tap into your energetic field and I let your body talk to me, basically. So as your body speaks to me, we then go into the elements to identify in which element the blockage, in which element or which elements, because a lot of the time it's just more than one element because they're all linked, obviously. So in which element or in which elements the blockage is. And so once we've identified which element and then which organ the blockage is, I'm going to break it down into the pathology that arises, what issues that creates, your response to those issues, and ultimately the questions that the primary questions or existential questions that this creates within us. Okay, about the primary questions. Each element is also associated with 5 primary questions or existential questions, which are what we would call major life concerns that will be linked to a particular element. And so it is our inability to answer those questions, our constant searching for the answer to those questions that are going to generate the imbalances. And so when you're clearing an emotion, it's really important not only to clear the emotional pattern that the imbalance has created, but also the question that you're trying to answer. Because if you're not clearing that, and you're clearing only the emotions, the question is going to be there, it's going to come back, and so the pathologies and the imbalances are also going to come back. And this is why, that's what I love about this particular modality. There are several things that I love about this modality, but one of the things is that you're also clearing the interrogation that you have around that particular issue. And so, to go back to the process, as I'm breaking down, as we're identifying pathologies, issues, and all the patterns of imbalance that has created, that the blockage is creating, you're going to be rubbing the acupressure point that is related to the organ. Why is this important? Because the stagnation resides within that particular organ. So when you're rubbing the acupressure point, you're releasing the energy that has stagnated within that particular organ. And at the same time, as you're doing that, I'm taking you through everything. I think I'm describing the imbalances, I'm breaking it down for you. And so there's a bit of a, well, not a bit of a, there's a brain to body connection where, and this is what I love about it, is because the body speaks first. The body speaks first, and then the mind creates the connections that the body is trying to express through me. And this is beautiful because in a lot of therapies, in a lot of traditional, because I think we're moving more and more away from that, but in a lot of traditional therapies or coaching sessions, you're speaking from the approach is very intellectual, and so you're speaking with your mind. And of course, there are things that are going to come out. I'm not dissing traditional therapies, but what I'm saying is that it's the mind that speaks first. And sometimes the mind does not necessarily establish that connection to the body, so does not see certain things. But the body, to me, the body sees everything. And the body knows the answer to everything. So starting from the body and then making that connection between the body and the mind is fundamental. And so as I break down all the emotional pattern, you're then able to identify what's coming up, what resonates with you, and then we just go through that as you're rubbing, as you're releasing that emotion. It's really powerful. And so this is the deconstructing process where we're deconstructing, we're releasing, we're liberating whatever blockage or blockages you have around a particular issue. But then that is not enough. Once you've deconstructed, once you've released it, you need to add in fresh and new foundation. So how do we do that? We do that with what we call an integration phase. So although your body has released the blockage, and then you're going to be feeling it, sometimes physically, sometimes the sensation can be quite subtle or it can be quite strong. It depends how your body reacts, really. But the integration will follow, the integration that will follow can include a journaling exercise. It can include you making new affirmation, new proclamations, to really consolidate the deconstruction. Or I can also give you some naturopathy or some exercises that can help your body and your organs. Especially the organs that within which the imbalance is. So I can also give you some naturopathy, so ways to cultivate that particular element, or herbs or food that you can take that will help nurture the organ, because it is depleted after all, so it needs nurturing. And a lot of the time it's during the conversation that we have that those elements will come to me. So they can be quite different. They will be different depending on the clients, and depending on what we're talking about. Another thing that I love about ERC is that the state, the emotional state, emotional, energetic, mental, physical state of the practitioner is paramount. And we're given ways, we're giving all the tools that we need to be able to cultivate our own inner equilibrium in order to be the best practitioner we can be with that other person. Because I think gone are the days where, you know, you could have a coach that was completely fucked up, but really efficient. I mean, I'm sure that even, you know, coaches or people that haven't sorted through their issues can be good coaches. But I think that with energy work, it is really important when we do a session that we are completely present and completely and in a place where we can give the best energy that we're giving, because I mean, this is us holding somebody else's space. And so we need to be clean. Our aura, our body, our energy needs to be clean in order to be able to do that. And so with ERC, there's a lot of it, a huge part of it is about self-care and self-mastery and well-being and really looking after ourselves. And really looking after ourselves so that we can provide the best session to our clients. So ultimately, ERC is about reconnecting to your body and releasing the blockages that will keep us from reconnecting to our body and ultimately reconnecting to our greatness, our unique greatness. Because as we know, so sorry, that was quite arrogant. My vision is that the body is the vehicle to your soul, and being able to tap into that body allows you to tap into your soul. And the body knows. We hold all the answers within. The body knows all the answers. We've just forgotten how to connect to it and how to listen to it. And ERC helps you reconnect to your body and ultimately to your soul. So that's it. I've just summarized emotional resonance clearing and one submodality in particular, which is the elemental clear. Please let me know if you've got any questions, and I'd be happy to discuss that. And thank you.